Hi, this is Courtney Starhart, and I'm here to talk about the process of developing inner vision. Inner vision essentially is your power. There are so many things in life that we can't change and that we come up against, but the one thing that we can always change is our mind. So once you're aware that you have the ability to change your mind by changing your awareness, then you want to look for a technique that works for you. What I usually do with my clients and what I do with my shamanic practice is I use the drums. For my own personal self, I tend to use yoga quite a lot and meditation. But in order to collaborate with another person or a group of people, I have to take them on a drum journey. So today I'm here to talk to you about how a drum journey is one example of developing your inner vision and changing your mind. If I'm working with a client to develop a piece of artwork that's custom for them, what I'll do is take them on a drum journey and teach them how to develop their inner vision so that they're able to pull back something meaningful from their kind of larger psyche, whether that's their underworld or their upper world. It depends on the client. So, this is my drum. You can see on here, and I may have mentioned this, that the lotus is about the unconscious and that our spirit can rise up from that and blossom. These are two birds, yin and yang, who are coming together to form something greater. A butterfly is up here for transformation, and the clouds for spirit. The purpose of journeying with a drum is to shift your awareness and start a dialogue essentially with a different part of yourself that you're normally not aware of. The beating of the drum is like a boat that we ride in. And essentially what we do is we take this boat to different levels and layers of consciousness. Mostly what we focus on is the underworld, the middle world, and the upper world. And you'll see this in lots of different shamanic practices and traditions. The underworld essentially is the unconscious or the collective unconscious. It's the things that we suppress that we don't really want to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And we can go and we can journey and retrieve pieces of things that were left there or things that we've stuffed. Because a lot of times when we have stuffed something into our unconscious, it's because we've made an agreement to believe in ourselves as somewhat limited. Because letting go of aspects of ourselves is inherently limiting. So a lot of times these things that we stuff into the unconscious and give us a lot of trouble emotionally, psychologically, energetically, health-wise as well. These things that are stuffed are things that we can liberate by changing someone's story or changing someone's understanding around them. But I can't tell anyone how to think, and I'm convinced that talk therapy is a lot less effective than personal kind of cathartic breakthrough. So what I do with people is I help them to have the ability to journey and retrieve pieces of themselves. So that's level 1. Level 2 is the middle world. In the middle world, we're basically in the same type of situation as we are here. You'll see people gardening, you'll see people in villages, and you might even see your ancestors kind of hanging out doing the stuff that they used to do when they were alive. Sometimes this is referred to as the other side camp. If there's any hell, then hell would be the lower end, the scarier end of the unconscious realm. But the unconscious isn't always a hell realm. There are lots of places there that are quite interesting and helpful. The astral plane, the symbolic levels of things, a lot of creative things come from that realm. So it's not a bad thing. And the middle world, the other side camp, as I like to think of it, isn't a bad thing or a good thing. It just is. People are engaged in their usual day-to-day activities for the most part. And that's a place that we go, we journey to retrieve a part of our physical comfort and to try to release the vice grip that fear and ego has on most people because of the world we live in and how we interface with it. So we take you to a place where you feel comfortable, you feel loved, and then when we go to the upper world, we're looking for a spirit guide, spirit helper, spirit protectors, something angelic, a higher consciousness. So oftentimes then we go symbolically up into a mountain range. The lower world, we go to a cave, and that represents the unconscious. The middle world, we go to a garden and a village, and the upper world, we go up a mountain to a snowy peak. So those are basically the 3 different places we go to. The higher realms will be more divine, more celestial, and from there you might be able to gain insight, or you may be able to petition for the help of a spirit to look after you and be your guide or protector. So I like to think of that as upper world stuff. A lot of times you'll see depicted a tree, not just this tree of life that I use, but a physical tree. Like, I think it's Yakshche in Maya is the tree of life, and it's a ceiba, kind of a mangrove tree, and they all grow together like our minds kind of do, but each one is a discrete entity. So it's kind of an interesting analogy. When we journey to the underworld, we'll go down into a portal that goes down beneath a tree and takes us across a river. In the next segment, I'm going to talk to you about the story of Persephone. We're going to tell that story because we use that as kind of a cultural framework for our drum journeying. Rather than using a Native American or a Christian paradigm, I went back to classical mythology and picked out a story that I thought was sufficient or even quite good for helping people to understand a little bit about their psyche and how to journey. So, thank you for listening to that introduction about drum journeying. I want you to know it's totally safe practice. Sometimes there are side effects with plant medicine, and obviously ceremony can be quite rigid and maybe even inconvenient or time-consuming for the modern person. But with a drum journey, you can drum journey anytime. You can do 15 minutes, you can do 30 minutes, you can go to different realms of consciousness, and you're the person who gets to determine what you want to do and how you want to do it. So I highly recommend the technique of drum journeying for virtually any occasion. And the next segment, I'm going to tell the story of Persephone, and then after that, I'm going to give you a sample drum journey so that when you're at home, you can practice this if you want to. Okay? Thanks for listening. Bye for now.